Coyote Pass was supposed to be the Browns' fresh start. A sprawling piece of Arizona land, wide and open, where each wife would have her home, where children would run free, and where unity could be built from the ground up. On television, Kody painted the picture with dramatic flair. This is our legacy, our future, our family's promise. Christine and Janelle believed in that dream. They poured their hopes, their time, and their sacrifices into the idea that Coyote Pass would one day unite them all. Meri listened quietly, her doubts unspoken but present. Robin smiled through tears, assuring viewers she believed in Kody's vision. But in court, Coyote Pass wasn't a dream, it was evidence. The land that once symbolized unity became Exhibit A in a trial about betrayal, because behind the sweeping desert views and Kody's grand speeches, the truth was stark. Coyote Pass was never about family. It was about control. The court examines how the dream of Coyote Pass turned into a battlefield of broken promises and financial manipulation. On Sister Wives, the Browns spoke of Coyote Pass as if it were destiny. Each wife would one day have her own home, and the family would finally be united in one sacred place. Kody promised fairness. He promised equal shares. He promised that every wife, every child, would benefit from this land. But court records told another story. The deeds revealed that ownership wasn't balanced. Parcels that Christine and Janelle were told they'd one day control were tied up in Kody's name and Robin's. Payments on the land were routed through accounts that Christine and Janelle didn't even know existed. The prosecutor laid it bare before the jury. What you saw on television was a vision. What you see here in these documents is the reality. And the reality is, Christine and Janelle were investing in a dream they never truly owned. Christine's lips trembled as she stared down at the paperwork, proof of what she had long suspected. Janelle leaned forward, calm but resolute, her strength etched into her posture. Meri stayed still, her silence both a shield and a cage. Across the aisle, Kody's jaw locked, his face hard with anger. Robin dabbed her eyes, her tears flowing freely. The jury scribbled, their eyes darting from paper to patriarch. Coyote Pass wasn't a dream anymore. It was evidence. Evidence that what had been sold as family legacy was, in truth, a funnel of control. The court hears testimony about how loyalty determined access to the land, and how dissent meant exclusion from the dream of Coyote Pass. The prosecutor called the next witness, a former financial consultant who had worked with the Browns during the years when Coyote Pass was first being developed. Can you describe the discussions around how the land would be divided? The consultant nodded. Kody spoke often of fairness, but behind closed doors, fairness meant loyalty. If a wife was cooperative, if she didn't question financial decisions, she was promised land. If she pushed back, her share was always vague, always delayed. The jury leaned forward. Was this favoritism ever put in writing? The consultant opened a folder. Inside were notes taken during meetings with Kody. On one page, in his handwriting, a line circled twice. Loyalty equals land. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Christine covered her mouth with her hand. Janelle's eyes narrowed, her face calm but unyielding. Meri glanced down, her silence louder than any word. Kody's complexion reddened. He shook his head furiously, whispering to his attorney. Robin pressed tissues to her face, her sobs echoing through the chamber. The prosecutor's voice was steady. Coyote Pass was sold as a family legacy, but in practice, it was leverage. It was a system that rewarded compliance and punished dissent. The jury scribbled furiously. For Christine and Janelle, the dream of Coyote Pass had become a reminder. Loyalty was demanded, but never rewarded. And in court, that truth finally had proof. Christine takes the stand herself, revealing how her hopes for Coyote Pass crumbled under broken promises. Christine walked slowly to the witness stand. Her steps were steady, but her eyes carried the weight of years. She raised her hand, swore the oath, and sat down. The courtroom stilled. The prosecutor leaned forward. Christine, can you tell us what Coyote Pass meant to you? Her voice wavered but held. It was supposed to be a fresh start. A place where my kids could grow, where I could finally feel like I had a home of my own. Kody promised us each a lot, a space to build. He told us it would be equal. And was it? Christine shook her head, tears glistening. Number every time I asked about progress, the answers shifted. Deadlines moved. My share was never secure. I was told to be patient, to trust, to sacrifice more. Meanwhile, I saw resources go to other places, other people. The land became something dangled in front of me. Never something real. For Christine and Janelle, the dream of Coyote Pass had become a reminder. Loyalty was demanded, but never rewarded, and in court, that truth finally had proof. Christine takes the stand herself, revealing how her hopes for Coyote Pass crumbled under broken promises. Christine walked slowly to the witness stand. Her steps were steady, but her eyes carried the weight of years. She raised her hand, swore the oath, and sat down. The courtroom stilled. The prosecutor leaned forward. Christine, can you tell us what Coyote Pass meant to you? Her voice wavered but held. It was supposed to be a fresh start. A place where my kids could grow, where I could finally feel like I had a home of my own. Kody promised us each a lot, a space to build. He told us it would be equal. And was it? Christine shook her head, tears glistening. Number every time I asked about progress, the answers shifted. Deadlines moved. My share was never secure. I was told to be patient, to trust, to sacrifice more. Meanwhile, I saw resources go to other places, other people. The land became something dangled in front of me, never something real. Her words echoed through the chamber. The gallery murmured, reporters scribbling furiously. The prosecutor handed her a document. Do you recognize this? Christine nodded. Yes, this was the parcel I was told I'd one day own. Her voice cracked. But my name isn't on it. The jury's expressions hardened. Across the aisle, Kody's jaw tightened, his fists clenching on the table. Robin's sobs grew louder, tissues shaking in her hands. The prosecutor asked, "How did that affect you and your siblings?" The child's voice trembled. It made us feel like Coyote Pass wasn't for all of us, it was just for them. We grew up knowing some kids had more, while others had less. And the land became a symbol of that. Who was loved, who was loyal, who mattered. Gasps filled the gallery. The judge's gavel slammed. Order! The jury scribbled furiously, their expressions grim. The land that once represented hope now stood exposed as proof of favoritism, even in the eyes of the children who had dreamed of playing there. The defense makes its move, arguing that Coyote Pass was nothing more than a delayed dream, not deliberate deception. The defense attorney rose, buttoning their jacket with deliberate calm. They paced slowly before the jury, their tone softer now, almost persuasive. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard a lot about Coyote Pass. You've heard disappointment, frustration, even heartbreak. But what you have not heard is fraud. Dreams take time, building homes takes money. The Browns are a large family with complex dynamics. Delays do not equal deception. Broken promises do not equal intent to harm. They gestured toward Christine and Janelle. Yes, these women are hurt, but is hurt the same as fraud? Or is it the natural result of a family stretched too thin? The attorney turned to Kody, raising their hand. Kody Brown is not a villain. He is a man who dreamed too big, who tried to juggle too much, who carried the weight of a family larger than most could imagine. And Robin, sitting beside him, has done nothing more than share in that burden. Kody nodded sharply. His jaw clenched in approval. Robin dabbed her eyes, her sobs timed with the words. The defense pressed harder. Coyote Pass is not a crime. It is a vision delayed, a dream deferred, nothing more. The gallery murmured, some shook their heads, the jury scribbled, their faces unreadable. Christine sat steady, her lips pressed tight, tears sliding silently down her cheeks. Janelle's arms folded, her composure steel, her eyes fixed on the jury. Meri remained withdrawn, her silence a fortress. The defense's words hung in the air like smoke, an attempt to cover the fire, but unable to smother it completely. The prosecution strikes back with hard evidence, the financial trail that proves Coyote Pass wasn't delayed. It was diverted. The prosecutor rose, binder in hand, their tone sharp and deliberate. The defense wants you to believe Coyote Pass was a dream, deferred. But dreams don't have bank transfers. Dreams don't have LLC filings. Dreams don't have receipts. Screens lit up as exhibit after exhibit appeared. Exhibit 27, a wire transfer. Funds from the family account labeled Kody Pass Payment, redirected into an account managed solely by Kody and Robin. Exhibit 31, an LLC registration, quietly filed, quietly operated, with ownership listed as Kody Brown and Robin Brown, and no mention of Christine or Janelle. Exhibit 35, a handwritten note in Kody's planner. The words underlined twice, CP secure, others wait. Gasps spread through the gallery. Reporters scribbled furiously. The jury leaned forward, their pens racing across paper. Christine's hands trembled as she wiped tears from her cheeks. Janelle's arms crossed, her face calm but fierce, her vindication clear. Meri stayed withdrawn, her silence a wall between her and the storm. Across the aisle, Kody flushed red, his jaw locked, fists clenched on the table. Robin's sobs grew louder, tissues crushed tightly in her hands. The prosecutor's voice cut through the quiet. This is not delay. This is diversion. While Christine and Janelle were told to sacrifice, their land was funneled into control by Kody and Robin Kody. Pass wasn't a dream deferred. It was a dream stolen. The jury scribbled faster, their faces grave. Sympathy was gone. All that remained was calculation. The attorneys deliver their closing arguments, framing Kody Pass as either a broken dream or deliberate betrayal.